time to go coast to coast on CMRU.ca. Bringing you everything new in the hockey world, here's Landon Brown, Alex Burko, and Phil Trombley.
Welcome, everyone, to the first episode of Coast to Coast. I'm your host, Alex Burko, with Phil Trombley.
How we doing?
And Landon Brown.
Hello, everyone.
How are you doing, guys?
Good. How are you?
Pretty good.
Alex?
I'm all right. Man, this is months of excitement.
Yeah, I know. You're so stoked for this.
I've been thinking about doing this for
Probably since you got accepted into this program.
probably because you know what? It was during probably the first or second class we had with Alana and Karen first year, because I asked, when can we do a second radio show on top of the one we're already doing?
Yeah.
This was my plan,
To do some hockey.
to do some hockey.
Do some hockey.
And boy, howdy, I could not be more excited. So, for those of you listening, I'm not going to call you new listeners because the show is new. For those of you listening, basically, we're going to cover NHL, AHL, CHL, and PWHL stuff as well. Obviously, we're going to do kind of separate stuff. Like, obviously, the Hockey Canada stuff is going to come down probably over the next month and a bit here, hopefully. So we'll do a separate podcast for that. But as far as just the live show, we're just going to cover all the major bases. We might not get to all leagues just because we only have an hour. But we'll see what we can do.
There's just in this great country of Canada, there's just so much hockey.
Especially once the HL kicks off, too. That's going to be more to talk about. But
Yeah, absolutely. That's going to be the big thing.
around the 10:30 mark, we're just going to play a couple songs to give ourselves and y'all a bit of a break, just listen to some music. Also, I am looking into getting this show put on Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Spotify, whatever, just so people who miss the show are still able to find it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that idea.
I
What do
like
you
that
say?
idea as well.
What do you say we dive into our first story today, guys?
Okay.
We're starting with the Flames.
We are starting with the Flames, and we are starting a little bit sad. So,
Sad. But we won.
Chris Snow, I believe he's the Flames AGM.
Yeah, the assistant general manager.
Yeah. He unfortunately has been battling ALS for years now.
Yeah.
And he suffered, quote, a catastrophic brain injury yesterday.
Shoot.
And one that is said that he will not recover from. So obviously, thoughts and prayers go out to the Snow family. Because that, especially for the young kids, that's definitely not easy watching your dad go through that and then pretty much being in the hospital with him for that. That's a bit rough, especially with you being that young. But off top, we just wanted to mention that we hope all gets better with the Snow family. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much about it. I feel like there's no real divisive debate over this being a sad thing.
No, that's pretty sad. Yeah.
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 I was excited to talk about the Flames winning in the shootout last night, but
Again.
sure, let's get
Winning
all
the shootout
sad
again.
to start the radio show.
But getting on to less sad news and something that I imagine there'll be a little bit of a debate during. Jakob Pelletier is out for the year with a shoulder surgery because he got reamed against the Kraken. You guys see the hit?
I didn't see
see
the
the
hit.
hit.
Was it open ice?
It's not open ice. It was that danger spot like 3 feet away from the boards
Nowhere land.
from behind.
Oh,
I've
it
got
was
the video
It was a
here.
dirty hit then.
Yeah, it was a very dirty hit.
That's quite unfortunate.
Yeah, he got folded like a lawn chair.
Because he's not a big dude, is he?
He's not.
Here, Landon, I've got the video here.
So I'm just gonna keep talking while the guys watch videos. So
Oh, okay, yeah, he got dumped into
Just
the
got
board.
he got
thrown in there.
dumped. So the debate that I imagined us having a little bit here is I was at work and I forget who said it, but someone mentioned that this is why you don't start guys like Pelletier in the preseason.
Well, I mean, it's not like, is Pelletier really a star?
Well, there's that, and there's also, I mean, would you just start him cold in the middle of the season?
No, I would start him in the preseason.
Yeah,
'cause
You would
they
absolutely
want-
start him in the preseason.
They want him for the whole season, but
Like-
he's never played.
Yeah.
What I'm more surprised about is that the Flames have been starting Markstrom and been starting Huberdeau and Kadri. Like, that's what I'm more surprised about. Pelletier is the kind of guy you expect to be.
Yeah, because he's fighting for a spot. Those
Yeah.
$10 million guys are already on the team.
Exactly.
So I
And then
think
you're risking $10 million
But
injuries.
like with Huberdeau, he does need to get his stuff together.
Absolutely.
That's
Get
what I was
back
thinking with
going.
Markstrom is that he had a disaster of a season last year.
Absolutely.
So he's got to get his feet under him. And what better way to start that than, hey, kid, here's your, I say kid, hey, man, here's your,
27,
I mean,
don't
we're
know
still
how
pretty
old he
early
is.
in the preseason. He might not play the rest of it also.
I mean, Wolf.
That's true. He didn't
Wolf
play
played
last night. Wolf started last night. Did
Yeah.
you see that save in the shootout?
I did the Scorpion save.
Epic save. Epic
We'll-
Selly, too.
We'll get to
Oh,
that.
it was beautiful.
We'll get to that after our first light news story today. After, I think he was drafted in 2005, 2006. Michael Backlund was.
Yes.
Yeah.
Finally being given the
Backlund
C
is the
in
captain.
Calgary.
And he's been here for another 2 years, right?
He is
2-year
2
contract?
year at 4.5 average.
That's
Yes.
too much money.
That's too much.
Yeah, I want that money. No one's worth that much money.
Okay,
me instead.
okay. What would you pay him?
$7.
Actually, I think for him, that's a pretty fair contract.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah, like I
2 years at that?
I was expecting more.
Yeah, I thought it would be around 6.
I was expecting around 5.5.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know. I
so
think
4.5 for 2 years, I think, is nice.
Plus, they gave him the cap. That was probably a
that
part
was
of it.
that was absolutely part of the signing. Is hey, if I sign with you guys will give me the C, yeah?
Yeah.
Are we surprised that it's Backlund?
No.
Are we? No?
No.
Not at
No.
all. I know one guy was, and that's our friend Callum.
Was he? Oh,
He,
yeah.
he was
wanted
so
Anderson.
convinced it was going to be Anderson.
Well, that's because that's what everyone was saying. Was gonna be answered. I thought it was gonna be Tanev.
I had no idea who I thought it was
So
going to be.
this seems like a really good way to set up for their next captain too, because now they have Backlund for 2 years. He's like an older guy.
Mhm.
He's really good, and he'll let like Mangiapane and Coronado and those guys sort of percolate a little.
I think
in the league.
Coronado's going to be a captain
Yeah, so I think eventually
at
it'll
s-
end up
okay.
Coronado.
at some point.
Okay, not immediately following.
No, not tomorrow.
Okay.
But I think
No,
give
like
him
the-
5
you think
years.
Coronado's
If he's
gonna be
still
a
with the
captain?
Flames,
in
he's gonna be a
succession, yeah,
captain.
like after Backlund retires, which might be in 2 years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if Backlund gets traded or he's gone, then it's gonna be Coronado. I think it's gonna be the Coronado show. I think this
Yeah.
kid is gonna be
I
so
think
good.
they set it up so well just to have him kind of come in as the captain in a couple years once he's established.
Him and Zari as well.
Yeah,
Connor
Zari.
I think people forget about Zari just because he's
He scored
a
last
little bit
night
younger.
He
but
did.
though. He ultimately the game winner last night.
Yeah, I like Zari. He's from that big New York Rangers draft year 2020.
You and your Rangers.
I do like the Rangers.
Is that all we want to talk about for the Backlund thing? Because then we can get on to the preseason.
Yeah, I think. What else is there to talk about Backlund? I mean, he deserves to be here. I think I agree with you. He deserves the captaincy.
Yes, I'm very excited to see what he does, him and the new coach with the Flames this year.
There was a time where I thought that Backlund wasn't going to be captain because he came out and said, I'm not sure if I want to resign here.
He won the leadership award, didn't he? Like the
Yeah.
NHL award? Yeah, so he's the obvious pick for captain.
Yeah.
You can't have the guy that wins the leadership
Oh
award
yeah, no,
and
like
not give him the captaincy.
well, I'm more saying like when he came out and said that he wasn't sure if he wanted to resign here. I feel like that if it were me, I would have started looking at trading immediately.
But that's also kind of like a captain move because he didn't do it for no reason. He did it because he hated the environment.
Well, no, of course not. Yeah, like I understand that
So
it was.
I feel like that's kind of like it's a pretty risky but courageous move to make when you tell your organization that you don't want to be a part of it because of
yeah, give
the
me the C.
organization.
Give me the C or I leave.
Yeah. So, yeah, they stuck with their player instead of their Grumposaurus coach.
Mm.
And this is the first C since Giordano was traded. We didn't have a C last year. I
No.
forgot about that.
True.
Yeah, it was all A's.
Yeah, craziness.
Not even traded because he was acquired from Seattle. So
Yeah,
You
expansion.
taken
Yeah.
by Seattle, not traded. My bad.
yeah, it was Tanev, Backlund. Who were the other A's? Lindholm got an A.
And yeah,
Was there a fourth one, or was it just those
I
three?
think that was it.
I don't remember at all.
Fair enough.
I'm also not like a huge Flames fan, so
Boo.
You're a Rangers fan.
yeah.
Flames and Flyers.
Nice.
No. Last season was depressing for me on both ends.
Oh yeah, this season's gonna be tough for the Flyers. That's
Oof.
for
but-
sure.
I was actually jumping the gun a little bit. Let's talk about the Flames preseason first. Yesterday, coming out with a shootout win over Winnipeg
Yes,
with a gorgeous Scorpion save and a gorgeous Sally after from Dustin Wolf. I love seeing that on him. I love seeing that excitement.
Yeah, me too. I think this guy, he's been in the he's literally the best goaltender not in the NHL.
Yeah.
And now he's going to get the chance to be in the NHL, and I think I thought he should have gotten a couple more NHL games last year, especially when Markstrom was having his big ol' slide, and instead of like giving him a break, they were just like, "Hey, keep sucking," and then we missed the playoffs by 2 points.
Yeah.
Instead, Wolf very easily, if he'd played 2 or 3 of those games that Markstrom absolutely bombed, I think he would. We would have made playoffs last year. So I think Wolf is going to be a big.
I feel like we wouldn't have gone far in playoffs last year anyway.
Oh no, we would. Yeah,
Like,
but we would have made playoffs.
If you have a coach that wholeheartedly put out Nick Ritchie in that shootout against Nashville, you're not going far.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But
I screamed at my TV for that. I was
saw that.
so
I was like,
furious.
and that was like pretty fresh after we acquired him too. I saw that and I was like, who is this guy?
And you put him out third
Game winner to make the Stanley Cup.
Yeah, to pretty much make the playoffs.
And you put on this bum that you just acquired for his brother.
Can we hire Sutter just to fire him again?
We can talk about Sutter.
I would love to do that because
we can talk about.
Wow,
Sutter.
you suck. But
I don't know, man. I don't know, man. I don't think it was a problem with Sutter.
You don't think it was a problem with Sutter?
I don't think it was a problem with Sutter.
No, I think it got to be a problem with Sutter probably because everyone was upset about losing and they needed to take it out on someone.
Yes.
And it's easy to take it out on your boss because no one likes their boss. Sorry,
That's
bosses.
true.
I like my boss.
I'm not a huge fan of mine.
I like my boss.
It's just the natural division.
It's just okay. It's a lot easier to work for your boss if you like him, and a large majority of the locker room didn't.
Yeah, because it's a different style, but it's obviously a style that's worked in the past. I think it was a style that worked for us 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And then I think there was
also a style that worked in 2012.
Yeah.
Because
exactly.
Like he didn't change.
Yeah.
The Lucic debate is a big one because I'd say Sutter overplayed Lucic a bit, but
yeah.
I don't know what your thoughts are.
Lucic.
As Flame fans,
we
I don't
lost
know.
Lucic. Hey, he's back in Boston
he's back
now.
in Boston.
Yeah.
But I wasn't sure what your thoughts are because I always thought he was overplayed. Like he has his purpose, and like it's
Lucic is
exciting.
overplayed
Every
as
time
well.
he gets the puck and the whole Saddle Dome would do that. Like
I love
that was great.
That was the greatest part of Flames games.
I
to
like
me,
that.
Was watching that, but I still think he was overutilized a little bit when they should have maybe been playing like Ruzicka or something. Because I really like Ruzicka.
Yeah.
I like Zadorov.
Yeah.
I like Zadorov.
Yeah, Zadorov's a stud.
I think Zadorov is going to be perfect for what Lucic was, what we wanted Lucic to be, because Zadorov's huge.
I find Zadorov makes the play that he's on. He either is the one that sets up the pass to set up a goal, or he gives the puck up and it's a goal in like it's a goal against.
Yeah,
He's the ultimate decider of what happens.
Is Michael Stone still around? Because I really loved Michael Stone.
I mean, he's in player development.
Oh, okay. So
we'll talk about that one later.
So he's not done in the NHL. I also wondered if he just retired.
Like he did retire.
Oh, he
like
did.
he's in Flames development right now.
Yeah, he works. He works with
on that side of it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's exciting. I always loved him because he could take
I'm
shots.
gonna
score.
miss his slap
Dude,
shot.
his slap was nuts.
And he would just unload it at the most unreasonable times, and it would still go in.
Yeah.
Because it didn't
Just
matter.
a cannon.
Fun fact: he was a Calgary Hitman too.
He was
Nice.
alongside, well, not alongside, but also Andrew Ladd. Happy retirement, Andrew Ladd.
Yeah, Andrew Ladd. We were just looking at this. We were talking about something that we'll talk about a little bit later after the music when we go into the WHL. We were talking about the upcoming draft, and we were just curious about past Calgary Hitmen first rounders, and Landon was like, wasn't the last first rounder Getzlav?
I was about to say,
I
Getzlav
honestly
seemed high
thought
up
it
there.
was around that era, but then we looked at it, and it was much earlier than that.
Yeah, there's quite a few.
Yeah, the latest one was in 2016, and then in 2014 we had 2 first rounders. 2007 we had 2 first rounders. 2004 we had 3 first rounders. So been a lot of first rounders from the Hitmen in past years,
Okay,
and there could be another coming up, but we'll talk about that.
I'm gonna break that down after the kind of halftime break here.
Yeah.
Next Flames preseason game is back here against Edmonton. Speaking of Edmonton, have you guys seen the Heritage Classic jerseys?
Yeah, I do like
the
them.
Flames are so nice. I really like the Flames ones.
The Oiler pants are weird, but I do think both
The
of
Oilers
them
in general are weird.
came out
The
pretty
Flames
good.
one is growing on me. I think the only change I would make is if you took the 2011 Heritage Classic
You like
logo.
that?
No, if you just took the logo and put it on this jersey, I think that'll make it better. I hate the coaster logo.
I don't like that jersey. I love the Flames one. I don't like the Oilers.
The Oilers one is weird. I don't like the number on the front because if you go on the NHL shop website and you look at the jersey without any number on it, it's weird.
Yeah, you kind of have
It's
to
a
buy
it's
one
just
that
like
has a
blank
number on
space.
Oh yeah, that is strange.
Also, the C on McDavid's jersey, why is it on your collarbone?
it. And in 2 colors. That's so stupid.
That's odd. Do you think that's maybe just like a graphic design problem on here, or do you think that's really like that?
I'm sure it's really like that. He's probably wearing that jersey in that photo.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I know that's weird. It's a weird look.
It's a weird look. Yeah, here it is. There's an actual picture. The C, like the white bar on the shoulder pads goes right through the C. That seems
Now it's more
silly.
of an E.
Yeah, it looks like an E.
Mm.
The effective captain.
I
Doesn't
do-
make- yeah.
I do
Except it's
like the
Connor
Flames. The Flames one looks cool. I
The
do
Flames one
like
is
it.
sick. I like the Flames.
It looks definitely like a throwback,
Well,
even if
that
it
looks
didn't
nice.
have the writing. Like, if it was just the red without the writing around it, I think that would even be pretty cool too.
Yeah, I agree. That'd be cool.
But otherwise, it looks a little bit like Detroit's reverse retro.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
I can't believe
okay.
we went over the whole preseason and didn't mention the first preseason game where they blew out the Canucks 10-0.
Stomped the Canucks 10 to
where
nothing.
They
but it was
played all of
also
their CHL players.
Yeah, it was-
Yes,
it was also
more
like-
the Abbotsford
yeah,
Canucks
it was
that they
it was
stomped 10-0.
it was the Flames
but
against
hey,
against the Abbotsford Canucks.
Oh, it was against.
we need
the
a win.
AHL then.
Yeah, pretty.
Yeah,
much.
it was
Okay.
basically
It wasn't officially against the agent, but you look
It-
at the
it
starting
was.
lineups, and we had Markstrom, Kadri, Mangiapane, we had Huberdeau.
If
and they
you're-
had like,
if
who
you're
was the most notable player that was playing that night? I'll look at it.
if you're Canucks coach Rick Tocchet and you see that lineup against your starting lineup, you're just thinking, okay, so that's the game that's gonna be then.
I think
Sure,
Taka would just be like, "Oh, this guy didn't understand the
hold
preseason."
hold the fort, guys. It'll be
'Cause-
over soon.
Yeah, that's a tough one. The goalie at least got a good workout, or both of them probably
Silovs?
saw it.
Yeah, Silovs. Oof. Okay.
Yeah, so Coronado with a hat trick.
What
Coronado got a hat trick in that game.
what was better, Huberdeau's goal or Kadri's goal?
Which game? That game?
Yeah, that game. The Canucks
I'll
game.
be honest, I was working, so I didn't see the whole thing.
No?
I just saw the
Okay.
number roll up.
Yeah,
So-
I was also lifeguarding, so I would only get to watch in 20-minute increments.
Okay. So, for those of you that also didn't see it, I believe Huberdeau's goal was the third by Calgary, where he got a pass. Like, Flames hemmed the Canucks in their zone, and they're just passing it around, super Harlem Globetrotter style.
Love to see it.
Love to see it. And then it's a centering pass to Huberdeau, and he makes a toe drag, and whichever defender was watching him just kind of slid. Like
Okay.
he tried to lay down and block the shot, but as soon as he pulled off that toe drag, he was gone. He was so far gone. Huberdeau rips it, posting in. Love hearing that sound.
Yes, the post-in sound is just so
Ooh,
iconic.
it's just so nice.
I think most people can pick out, like most Canadians can tell by ear if it hits post and goes in or if post and goes out. They're different. You can just tell.
I mean, well, one is accompanied by cheering, the other one is accompanied by silence.
No, I mean just like if you're not, if you can just hear the post, like if you're at a practice or something.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you probably need a little bit.
It's just
like,
so ingrained in the brain now.
Yeah. And then Kadri's goal was, I think it was the same thing where the Flames kind of hemmed the Canucks in their own zone. Dubé was battling along the boards with someone whom I'm forgetting. He was below the faceoff dot, and he kicked it down into the corner to Kadri. Kadri goes for the fake wraparound, and instead of wrapping around to the front, instead turns his stick around and backhands it, barring in.
Nice.
Unreal couple of goals. Personally, I prefer Huberdeau's because that toe drag was clean. It was, but they're both nice. And if you gave me a million tries, I could never get either of them.
Yeah, that's also true.
I simply could not.
I also really just like Huberdeau as a player. I liked watching him when I used to play as well. He was
Okay.
one that I would watch and try and play like anyway.
Mm.
So I obviously couldn't, otherwise I wouldn't be here. that would be in the NHL
Yeah,
making
I would-
$10.5 million.
Yeah, I would probably be. Let's see, my draft class would have been 6 years ago, so I would have been in the 2017 draft class. So-
That's a he-shear year.
I wouldn't. Okay, so let's assume that I'm a top 10 talent in 2017.
Were you not?
I was incredibly not. I would likely be
Like low 4th round.
Oh, buddy. So Heischer, Nolan Patrick, Heiskanen, Makar, Pedersen, Cody Glass, Elias Anderson, Middlestat, Rasmussen, and Owen Tippett.
Yeah.
That's not a bad 10. Nick Suzuki, 13th. Martin Natchez, 12th.
Yeah,
That's not a
that
bad
draft
draft.
class is like completely shifted.
Can I take a second here?
Go ahead.
I hate the NHL website.
They
Oh,
updated it, and it's
so bad.
garbage.
I've been quiet for the past 3 minutes because I'm trying to find what the Canucks lineup was for that game,
Why?
and I cannot find
Why
it.
did you separate it into weeks? It doesn't make sense.
Like I'm scrolling through the Canucks news. I'm scrolling through the Calgary news. I'm on the game box for that specific game.
Are you
and
looking
I
for the-
cannot find the
Are you
lineup.
looking for the starting lineup or just their full roster?
The full roster.
Nils Amon, Sheldon Dries, Akito Hyros, Nils
How did you
Hoglander,
find that?
Matt Irwin, Dakota Joshua, Noah Juleson, Linus Carlson, Danila Klimovich, Aiden McDonough, Cole McWard, Vasily Podkolzin, Jack Rathbone, Atu Ratti, Max Sasson, Zachary Sachenko, Artur Silovs, Jack Studnicka, Pia Suter, and Jet Wu. Of those
Jet
names,
Wu.
Jet Wu. Of those names, I know maybe 5 or 6.
Yeah, so Hoglander, I would say, was probably the most
Yeah.
recognizable Canuck. on
Hoglander
that.
and Podkolzin.
And Flames played our entire starting lineup.
Yeah. Yeah, I could get 5 here. The first 5 players on this list for Calgary are Matt Coronado, Dylan Dubé, Noah Hannafin, Nazem Kadri, and Adam Ruzichka.
Yeah, that's a
And Huberdeau's not even there.
yeah.
Huberdeau's below Ruzichka on this list.
It's funny. I was watching that game and I saw Wu. What was his first name again? Jet Wu. And I was like, that seems odd because last year the Cougars had someone named Wu on their team as well, I believe. No, that's not what I'm thinking of. He's a Hitman. That's what I'm thinking of. Jet Wu was a Hitman.
He was.
That's cool. I remember because I'd go to Hitman games, and every time he'd get the puck, I'd go, woo. And my girlfriend, who's listening right now, always wanted to slap me every time. That's what I was thinking of.
Would you do it loud or under your breath?
I'd go, well, I mean, 3 years ago, people actually came to Hitman games, so I would go, woo, and a couple people around me would hit me, would hear me.
Okay.
It was funny. I thought it was funny.
You know who I'm liking, who I didn't think I'd like so much? Yegor Sharangovich.
Yeah, how's he doing? I haven't
He's
seen
doing
him
all right.
play really.
I have an affinity for players who aren't on the score sheet every night, but you notice them.
Like Zadorov.
Like Zadorov. Or like I'm wearing my Michael Backlund jersey. I was a huge Michael Backlund fan. He's not on the score sheet every night, but you notice him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like my favorite player in the NHL is Jordan Eberle, and he's not on there every night, but I freaking love Jordan Eberle. I hope he's listening.
He's
I
not.
don't think he
He's not.
I have his Oiler jersey from his rookie season.
I once served him a salad. Sorry, I once made him a salad.
That's cool.
Yeah,
Nice.
Because when I worked at Cottonwood Golf Course, he had a round there, and I just made him a salad.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
Yeah, he's my favorite.
How do we feel about Marchand being captain?
I love it. I love to see it. I
mean,
really
who
like
else?
Marchand.
I think it's a retirement move.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind
How
of
old
like
is he?
what they do in Boston. You get
Old.
captain, you retire.
Yeah, and then Lucic will get it after.
Okay,
him,
well,
and Lucic
I mean-
will retire.
I mean,
can you imagine Milan Lucic as captain?
it's
Yeah.
not a retirement thing since Zdeno Chara had that thing on his chest for 15 years.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and then he retired.
Well, yeah,
Well,
but
no,
well, yeah, duh. But it's
he
not
went
like
to Washington.
Marchand's been on the
New
team
York.
forever.
Bergeron's had it for a couple of years, and then he retired.
Yeah, Marchand's been
I
on the
think he only
team
had it for
forever, so
one.
they gave him the C.
Oh,
And now
Marchand's
he's going to retire with the
35.
C. And then they're going to give it to Lucic, and Lucic is going to retire with the C. Milan Lucic,
And
captain
then they'll
of the
have to
Boston
give to like
Bruins.
Hampus Lindholm for a year, and he'll retire.
And then they'll give it to Allmark just for fun.
Yeah.
He's 35.
No, I really like Brad Marchand, even though he's a Boston Bruin and I'm
And he's a
Rangers
rat.
fan. But I just love how frustrating he is. He's amazing.
Yeah, he's a scarab, isn't he?
And he's good. Is the
What?
other thing.
What did you just call him?
A Scarab. Have you guys not watched The Mummy?
Which one? The original?
The first one, I think.
Yeah.
Where the Scarab gets under your skin. He's a Scarab.
Oh.
It's a beetle that gets under your skin.
I like that.
Before we dive into the CHL stuff that Phil's so excited to bring on, a little bit of PWHL news. For those of you that don't really pay attention to this stuff, I am going to. Ever since the GMs and the coaches were announced, I just kind of jumped on Ottawa's bandwagon. So until they release their,
Boo.
yeah, I know, yeah, boo, I guess. And until Calgary gets a team, I guess I'm an Ottawa fan for a bit here. But I just wanted that on record,
I get that.
right? And I believe this was 2 days ago. There's an article written about where each of their teams will be playing. The only mysteries that have yet to be fully signed off on, or at least all but done. Montreal doesn't know where they're playing yet. They might be playing in the same arena that the Laval Rocket play in. 41-14 seater. New York, also not sure where they're going to play either. They're either going to play in Bridgeport, Connecticut at Total Mortgage Arena, seating 8,412, or
Connecticut?
yeah.
But they're called
How
New York.
are they going to call themselves New York?
That's
They
for
should
them,
play
that's
at
for them to
MSG.
figure out.
MSG is for everybody.
Hang on. They're also thinking about playing at the Islanders UBS Arena.
Okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
It's better than the IBS Arena.
Islanders, that's Long Island, right?
Yeah.
Yes. But the other 4 teams in the league have basically been all but confirmed. The Minnesota team is going to be playing out of the XL Energy Center, where the Minnesota Wild play.
That's kind of crazy.
That's awesome.
That's
I love
insane
that.
to me.
I
That
love
is
that for
so great.
I mean,
It's
See-
Minnesota though, so it's a different. It's
See-
more hockey there.
Seats roughly 18,000 fans.
I think that's risky.
Ottawa, let's go Ottawa team. Yeah, let's go Ottawa.
Ottawa team.
Ottawa
Have they not
team.
announced the names of the team?
No,
yet?
they haven't yet.
Oh, okay. I was like, what are you saying?
No,
Do
yeah,
you
they
not
haven't-
know the name of your own team.
No, they don't know. They haven't announced the team names yet, which I'm so. I thought they were going to do it at the draft, and I'm so mad that they didn't. But
Yeah, it's
Uh,
weird that they didn't for the
Or
draft.
the Ottawa women's hockey team.
yeah,
Is that what they said?
No, it's just Ottawa has the next pick.
Oh, okay.
Next is Toronto. But for Ottawa, it looks like they're playing in TD Place Arena, same place as the Ottawa 67s.
Okay.
6,500 seats. In Toronto, they'll be playing under the Coca-Cola Coliseum, seating 8,100 fans.
All
those
of these,
arenas
all of
make
these seat
sense.
more than Mullet Arena.
Yeah, that's crazy. actually.
Hang on. In Boston, the 3,800 seat Walter Brown Arena is likely going to host the women's Boston team.
Okay, there's one
38.
smaller than
There's
the
one.
NHL team.
Everyone else plays more than Mullet Arena.
That's
awesome.
crazy,
I
actually.
like that.
That's so funny.
I cannot believe that the PWHL is clowning on the NHL.
I like it.
That's so funny.
Also, because I really like Arizona's team this year in the NHL.
I miss Stetcher already.
Yeah, he was a good pickup for Calgary last year.
I miss him already.
But yeah, I like that all of those arenas except for one. are
Except for
bigger
one.
than Mullet.
Yeah. I'm really impressed by Minnesota being able to pull XL.
Well, I mean, that's like I mentioned it when you just like went over it, and I think it's risky, and we'll get into it a bit. I go to a lot of Hitman games, and the arena, like if you're not filling arenas, it feels so empty. Like these Hitman games, they're still probably getting 2,000 people at at just like a regular, everyday junior hockey game.
Yep.
But it feels like there's nobody there.
Yeah.
And
If
it
that upper
sucks.
bowl was empty,
It honestly, like, it's just such a weird feeling. And that's why I said it's risky, because I think if the PWHL comes into that and that's how they start,
but what they
is
might
they
do,
have these teams in these like this one team, the Minnesota team, in this one massive arena where, like, I don't know, I don't want to be not a nice person, but I don't think PWHL games are going to pull at least in the first year, are going to pull as many fans to games as NHL does. So you're going to have these games in these arenas that are going to be probably similarly filled as an AHL game would be. That's going to be my guess.
Yeah.
And those games feel so empty. The building feels so huge.
Do you think in this one, though, because it's like a professional league now, they'll set it up kind of like the NHL did during the bubble with those like stretched out banners, and they could put that around like the top?
That's a lot of maintenance.
That's a lot.
I know, but we're in the economy of creating jobs here.
Well, the thing is, to do that, you need to have ad revenue, and it is a market that is unproven yet.
But in Minnesota, I think they can. I just think Minnesota's a good place to do it, because what else they got? They got the Vikings for NFL.
Well, okay,
The Wild?
so here's
The Wild.
Here's
Yeah,
what-
but I mean,
The
like,
Twins for baseball. They
yeah,
got
but
everything.
the Twins don't play at the same time.
That's true.
here's what I was thinking is, okay, so
Prince is
a
gone.
running theme with this is that it's gonna change. Like, surely, like they might go to a smaller arena, but they haven't sorted out like any agreements with any other arenas in the area. They might be a smaller 8,000, 7,000 seat arena in the area that the Jays haven't negotiated with yet.
Well, yeah, the university, they pull a lot there.
So
The university is nuts.
This might not be a permanent thing for them, but I'm just amazed that they could pull that off the top though.
I like it. Also, they're going to have like, 5 home games in the year? It's not like they're really taking up too much space in the arena,
Yeah, there's also that.
because there's only 6 teams.
I'm a little bit bummed that, I mean, I understand where they're coming from, but I wish I could go see one. I want Calgary to get a team.
Yeah, I'm sure they will. Like, they have in those female leagues before, like that one that folded, Calgary had that team.
The Inferno.
Yeah, they were really good, too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Were
they
they
did a
good?
lot.
I never saw an Inferno game. So
They were always playing when I was training at Winsport for Skeleton, so we would just like hop in, like during the World Championships
really?
and stuff too. Yeah, we just go watch because
They
we'd be on the track.
routinely, I think I went to a Flames game once, and a few of the Calgary Inferno were there, and they won, I think it's called the Isabel Cup?
something like that.
Okay, I could see it.
Clarkson Cup, my bad.
Clarkson Cup. Close enough. WHL time.
WHL time.
WHL time.
Phil, go
Cool.
on a run, pal.
Woohoo! All right. Hitmen have played 2 games. Calgary Hitmen are our local WHL team. They played 2 games. Both were unfortunate losses to Medicine Hat. And this is regular season. We've started the regular season. It's not preseason anymore. Couple pretty big moves in the off season because we had a couple players going into their 20-year-old season. So one of our big defensive guys, Keegan Slaney, he got traded to the Pats. Obviously, there's a hole on the Regina Pats right now because they just lost Connor Bedard, obviously, to the Chicago Blackhawks. Keegan Slaney's defenseman, though, so I don't think he's going to be filling that hole.
We'll see.
We'll see. Our captain, Riley Fiddler-Schultz, graduated. He aged out.
Well, congrats, I guess.
Yeah, congrats, I guess. And then our star goalie, Peters, also aged out. So we now have a younger goalie who actually looked pretty good in the couple 2 days. But Peters got to go to camp with the Colorado Avalanche, which is pretty cool. And he's also signed with Acadia University to play U Sports. So he'll be one to watch.
Hey, you should go out there.
Yeah. And then we have some rookies, and the rookies are looking pretty good. Big name is going to be Ben Kindle. He's one to watch this year. He small guy, 16 years old. He's so quick. So quick. He got a goal in his first WHL game. It was the only Hitman goal. They lost 4-1 to win to Medicine Hat. Ben getting the only goal, and he got an assist in game 2. He's looking great.
Nice.
Really exciting kid. Unfortunately, our power play is looking just as bad as it was last season. We went like 1 for 7 on the first game, and a couple of those were 2-man.
It's a good thing it's the start of the year.
Yeah, we let in 3 shorthanded goals. It was not great, but
Sounds like when I play NHL on PlayStation.
Yeah.
but
That's a me-level defense.
you got your first 2 preseason game or regular season games out of the way. It's going to be sloppy hockey.
Mm-hmm.
You're kind of throwing stuff around, and this is not a bad team on paper. We lost Medhat to the 2 games of Medhat, but in doing that, we're missing our 3 top guys, as Tyson Galloway, Oliver Talk, and Sean Tschigerl, obviously. Galloway and Talk for these games were at the Flames Pro Camp, which is pretty exciting. They're back now. They've just returned this last weekend, I believe. So they'll be playing in the game tomorrow at Swift Current. And then we have Sean Tschigerl, who's my favorite. I'm a little biased, but he's my favorite. He's still at Kings preseason. He's on the lineup. He's wearing number 62 for the Kings right now. I know in some of the inter-squad games he was putting up a goal or two, so that's pretty exciting.
Like, is he challenging for a spot, or do you think he's like trying to make it to?
I think he's trying to make it to the A.
Okay. Are they still the Ontario Reign?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I think likely Sean will come back to the Hitmen this season. I think if he does, unless, he's still young, right? He's an 03.
Yeah.
So great that he's getting experience down there. I think he'll come back to the Hitmen this year. I think when he does, he'll get the C.
Yep.
Which is pretty cool.
That's exciting.
If not, it'll probably go to Galloway. We also had Graydon Seepman. He went and played at the Bruins camp. Unfortunately, he didn't last as long at pro camp as Galloway, Tulk, and Sean did. And it was kind of an unfair game against Medhat because we had our top 3 guys at pro camp. Medhat had 1 guy, and it wasn't a 20-year-old at pro camp. I can't remember where he was. But yeah. Looking good with rookies. Pretty exciting. Another exciting rookie is his name's Tschigerl. He's this huge, 17-year-old, I think he is. He's 6'4", 205, and no one wants to mess with him, which is good because that's something this team needs. We have Carter McAdams, who's a real physical leader on the ice. He's real quick, but he's a little smaller. This guy, Tschigerl, is massive, and he's exactly what the Hitmen need right now. He's kind of what Zadorov is for the Flames.
I love it.
But he's effective on the ice as well, which is exciting. The big story to follow this season is going to be Yakimchuk, I believe, because he is draft eligible this year. And by the way he's playing, if he keeps playing really well this year, it's going to be looking like he's going to go in the first round. I don't want to jinx anything right now, but that's pretty exciting. That would be, if he went in the first round, that would be the Hitmen's first round pick since Jake Bean in the 2016 draft when he went to Carolina. And yeah, we were talking about that, the Hitmen's first round drafts. And there's some pretty good names on there. The Hitmen are pretty good at getting some pretty good hockey players out there. Chris Beach in 99. We had obviously Ryan Getzlav in 2003, still probably
I have a
one of the
jersey
best.
signed with his name on it.
That's awesome.
A Hitman jersey.
That's sick. And then, like Alex mentioned earlier, we had Andrew Ladd in 2004, wishing him a happy retirement, along with Jeff Schultz, who went to Washington in 2004 as well. Alex Plant, Carl Alsner, Michael Stone went in the 3rd round, actually. So the Hitmen play Swift Current tomorrow night. They're at Swift Current. And then October 1st, they're coming back and playing Saskatchewan. And then they go on a huge road trip, and they're not back for a while. So if you want to get out, Sunday's your day.
I'm just looking over this list of Hitmen players that got drafted to NHL teams.
Jake Virtanen, Travis Sanheim.
Jake Virtanen, Sanheim, Flyers legend Sanheim.
Jacob Stuckel.
Noted 1 goal or 1 game goalie Brent Cron.
Where do you see that?
Towards the bottom. You look on HockeyDB.
Yeah.
He was in the 2000 draft, first round, to Calgary Flames.
Oh,
and
no
then
way.
He was dealt off to Dallas, where he played his one and only game.
That's crazy, actually.
Brent Cron's a really good trivia answer.
He would have been
player.
backing up like Marty Turco.
Yeah. I think. Well, I mean, he
With
did
Mike
manage to actually
Modano.
play, so he did actually play a bit. Like, he's not just sitting on the bench. I forget his stats. They're not great. But just getting back to Mark Kastlik. Did you mention Kastlik at all?
No.
No.
Yeah, he's in Ottawa right now.
Yes, he is. I know that because there's a lady that sits right by where we sit for these games, and she's got a Kastlik jersey on, and she's got like one of those plastic hand clapper things.
Yes.
It's green and white, and it's taped together, and she's probably had it for 90 years, and she uses it at the worst possible time. We'll like lose a face-off, and she'll go, ah!
I love it.
And she's so loud and so annoying.
It's like the Vegas Arena.
So annoying. But she's like 90 years old, so she was probably there for the
Maybe
she probably invented the Hitmen.
Maybe
honestly.
what you're seeing is a face-off, but she's seeing everything a little bit later because it just takes a little bit for her to convert information.
She's on a 4-second delay.
Yeah. So she's not actually cheering for that. She's cheering for the shot on goal that happened before.
that happened in the last play.
Yeah.
That actually might be that's probably a fair idea.
I didn't know Johnny Boychuk was a Hitman.
Mm-hmm.
Dang.
Just a cool little fact. So my girlfriend's family billets for the Calgary Hitmen, all three, because we're looking at the same list right now, Alex, all three of her current and past billet brothers are on this list.
Oh, nice.
Which is pretty
It's all those good dinners.
pretty cool. We're looking at Jakob Stukel. We're looking at Riley Stotts, who now plays for the UFC Dinos.
Mhm.
And we're looking at Sean Tschigerl. And now we have Ben Kindle, who's a few years out from the draft, but he's looking good.
Just real quick, jumping back to the Calgary Inferno from the specifically the 2018-19 season. It was the year that they last won the Clarkson Cup. A couple notable names on there as far as women's hockey goes: Rebecca Johnston, Brianne Jenner, Brianna Decker, and Blayre Turnbull, as well as Casey Bellamy, are probably the top names that I would recognize on that list.
Yeah, those are all some pretty solid
Turnbull
Canadian
is a
ladies.
beast.
Yeah.
She's
And
so strong.
Yeah.
My old strength and conditioning coach when I was training at CSI in Calgary, he was also her coach.
Oh, wow.
I've felt so bad for her because I think it was the World Champs 2 or 3 years ago where she tore her ACL while celebrating the win or
Oh,
something.
my.
Yeah, that was in
she-
Calgary.
That was in Calgary,
Yeah.
yeah. That was brutal.
Was that here?
Yeah, that was at Winsport when they had the World Champs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the Marie-Philippe Poulin goal that didn't count up until it did.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then she hopped over the boards and I
She
guess
got like crushed, I think.
Yeah.
And then she came out like on a gurney.
she came out on a gurney. Yeah.
Yeah. That was crazy.
Yes.
yeah.
And then she played, I think she played on the Olympic team like the following year because that would have been, or I guess following 2 years, it would have been for
Yeah.
Beijing.
Yeah.
But
Beijing. Was she on the Beijing?
I think she was on the
She
Beijing
was,
team.
yeah.
I think most of those ladies just are on the team.
I mean, it's crazy. Like, we were just talking about Blayre Turnbull's strength and conditioning coach. He does a lot of work with knees, obviously, because he trains ski racers, he trains hockey players, he trains soccer players.
Humans in general.
Yeah, but like specifically humans that suffer knee injuries.
Well, I can tell you as a massage therapist, every human suffers a knee injury.
Yeah.
At some
Ski
point.
racers and hockey players suffer the most knee injuries, I'd say. Ski racers specifically.
I don't know.
Getting back
I've
on
seen
topic.
geriatrics cross the street in the winter.
I am like
They fall
well,
hard.
yeah, that's different. I'm talking athletes.
Okay.
I'm one of very, very few ski racers that came out with both knees intact. Like I know none that have both knees completely intact.
All your ligaments?
Yeah,
They're all there?
they're all there.
No bionics yet?
Nope,
Getting back
can't
to
afford those.
Getting back to Blayre Turnbull real quick. She was in Beijing, and 2 was signed with Toronto's PWHL team.
That's sweet.
I'm excited
Is
about
she
that.
married to someone important, or is that someone else I'm thinking?
I don't know.
I mean,
I mean, she could be.
Google doesn't have a spouse, so
Maybe I
It
must
might be
be
someone
thinking of
else.
Someone else then. No, she's married to bobsledder.
Oh.
Ryan Summer.
yeah.
Oh,
sorry.
okay, nice.
There's
Yeah,
a picture.
that's what I was
There's a
thinking of.
picture right here.
Yeah, he's a big boy.
I'm just blind as a bat.
He is a big boy.
Yeah.
And
My girlfriend just texted me. Oh yeah, she's married to Ryan Summers, the bobsledder.
anything else you wanted to mention about WHL as we're wrapping up in the next couple minutes here?
No, that's really it. I think obviously the last 2 games against Medhat were not quite the full picture. Obviously, we'll see what happens on Sunday when we get our 2 boys back, and then if Sean comes back from King's Camp, we'll see what happens. He'll come back, but
Oh yeah,
that's wishful thinking.
Yeah.
He might not,
but
he probably will. But he might not.
But he might not though. But he
But he
probably,
probably
will.
will. But he
But he
might,
might not though.
But he might not. If he doesn't, that would be quite exciting because then he'd probably be playing in the AHL, which I think he would hold his own up there.
In the Ontario rain in California.
Yeah, I'll miss him.
Because it's not.
Wait.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I was looking at that. I was like, Ontario Rain, that's weird. But
That's
then I was
not.
like,
Yeah,
there
it's not
is
this
an
Ontario. It's the other
in,
Ontario.
in LA. That's true.
Yeah.
So I was just looking up a fella from Drumheller who was drafted into the WHL a couple years ago. He's a goaltender. His name's Talon Boyko. He finished last year in Kelowna. But he was drafted by the Rangers, and it looks like he's starting the year in Hartford this year. So that's kind
No
of
way.
exciting.
That's pretty
Yeah.
exciting.
Nice.
That's cool.
I mean, it's hard to fight for a spot on that team when you got Jonathan Quick and Shesterkin as the goalies.
Yeah,
So
those are tough
you're not really
goalies to
gonna
be
get in
playing
there, are
against.
ya?
he's either got to wait it out or.
Although I've got a bone to
move
pick
around.
with Jonathan Quick here.
Can you
'Cause
do it in
he
less
was
than a
playing
minute?
for Vegas, wasn't he?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had him on my fantasy draft. He didn't play a single game in the playoffs.
He did not.
I was like, I'm
Not
going
a
to pick
one.
Quick
I
because
was
that's
so
a good pick
surprised
to
at that,
take.
but
He
yeah.
didn't play a single game. I wasted a goaltender pick on him,
Worse.
so I'm mad at him.
As you should be.
I would like a personal apology. for
I'm
Jonathan
sure he
Quick.
is going to apologize to you.
And that's how we're going to finish out the show.
Yeah,
is
that's
me
basically
yelling
the
at
show.
Jonathan Quick. Come back next week when I yell about Connor
There
Bedard.
are more people. I am putting in some groundwork to try and get a couple guests in here.
I can do that too.
Yep. So
If he comes back.
if he comes back,
Because he's not going to come back.
yeah, he's not, but he might though.
But he might
But
not
he
come
might,
back.
Go looking at
Where's
getting a
he-
couple
where's
guests
he-
specifically from the Flames kind of broadcast area. That would be cool to get.
That'd be cool.
Just putting the groundwork for that. But for this week, I've been Alex Verco with,
Phil Tremblay.
and
Landon Brown.
we will see you guys
See you
next
next week.
Bye.
Bye.
He's going to come back.